everyone. I am here because I am very curious about what it's like to be a delegate to the National Party conventions, and I am lucky enough to have just such a delegate right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Gion Thomas is here. He is a delegate to the Democratic National Convention in August. Welcome, and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Andrea. It's a privilege to be on your show. Thank you.
It is a delight to have you. So to start with, I want to give everybody a little bit of background info here. So we were originally going to do this interview on Friday, but we weren't able to because you were in Houston and you didn't have power
Yes.
because Centerpoint Energy is some lame ass bitches. My words, not yours, but feel free to agree if you want. But then this weekend happened. Somebody tried to assassinate Trump. Wow, everything changed. So our conversation is going to be a little bit different, maybe, than we both expected at the beginning. So my first question for you is on a scale of touching some grass to doing lines of Xanax directly off of your therapist's couch, how badly are you freaking out right now? And follow-up question, do you have a plastic bag I can breathe into?
So, Andrea, I'm a millennial, so I'm used to the world being on fire.
Okay.
That has been our state of the world since I feel like us poor millennials have come into the world. So I'm
Yes.
used to it, and I don't think you want to have a plastic bag because I feel like you're just kind of inhaling microplastics. So let's find you something else to inhale into.
Okay, great. Yeah, if you have any specific drugs that you think are good to inhale, just let me know. Because things are a lot right now. Do you agree that things are a lot right now?
Yes, too much, in fact, honestly.
Too many things. So obviously, this week the Republican National Convention is going on, and I wonder if you can just give us a real brief explanation of, hey, why do we have these conventions? What happens there? What do the delegates do?
So first, basically, we have these conventions. It's really just to nominate the president and the vice president from the primaries,
Gotcha.
and also it's to come together and agree on a platform. So the delegates will also get to vote on a platform that we're going to have this upcoming November. Even though I feel like, I mean, democracy's on the ballot. I think that's all that needs to be said. And
Yep.
then the last part of it is it's kind of like a pep rally for the Democrats all across the nation to just kind of galvanize us and get us rallied and fired up for November.
I mean, do you feel like we need a pep rally right now? I don't know. Are we feeling
Well,
not peppy?
right. I think it's good for morale boost,
Yeah.
and I mean, I feel like in normal years, I feel like it would be, something to galvanize us. But now, this convention is going to be something of a little bit of concern, I feel like.
Yeah, that's an excellent way to put it. So, convention, just to kind of sum it up, there's logistical stuff, but there's also kind of some emotional stuff that happens there, both of which are very important.
Yes, yes.
So, I'm really curious about how you became a delegate. How does one find themselves in the position?
Well, other than being a little crazy, you have to first you have to first get started with your local party. Your local parties, they have their county conventions, and then from the
Okay.
county convention, you go from the state conventions, and then the state convention, you can run for to be a delegate for your congressional district, and that's exactly what I did.
Gotcha. Okay. And is there like an obstacle course that you have to go through? Is it just bare knuckle
Well, I
fighting?
did have
How
to
do you?
run. So I had to run for this position, and
Okay.
so you have to campaign. You have to shake hands of the different delegates. You have to text bank them, give them phone calls, stuff like that. So it's just like normal campaigning. I mean, if they have some babies there, you better be kissing some babies.
Okay, so you've been kissing a lot of babies. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Have you ever been a delegate before, or is this your first time doing this?
No, this is my first time. This wasn't my first state convention. This was actually my second state convention. But yes, this is my first time being a delegate. My first time running. Won the delegacy for CD8. Really, happy and proud of that, and ready to represent congressional Texas Congressional District 8.
Fantastic. You are, of course, the rare breed of Texas Democrat. There are at
Yes.
least two of us that I know of, presumably more. I think it would surprise people, actually. People think of Texas as such a red state, but I think, there's more of us than people think. Would you agree with that?
Oh yes, and this is the notion that people really have to understand with Texas. It's
Hmm.
not that Texas is a red state. It's Texas is a non-voting state, and I think if
Mm,
you were to get people to vote, I think the dynamics of Texas politically would change vastly.
interesting. Okay, so are you saying that we have one of the lower voter turnout rates?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
I think we have one of the lowest voter turnout rates. I think Mississippi is probably the other state that's probably lower than us.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that. We're learning something new today. So let's do a little compare and contrast. So we got the GOP convention going on this week. We've got
Yes.
the Democratic convention going on in August. What do you think the difference is going to be between those two conventions, especially given now the events of this past weekend?
Well, I will say this, that the Republican convention will be a bunch of, lies, hateful rhetoric, demonizing the Democrats and the left, basically saying that we were the ones to cause this attack, which is not true at all. If you look at the guy, he's a former Republican, former registered Republican. This guy used to take gun classes, part of a gun group, which, I'm not demonizing that, but clearly he was training for something, as we can see. And so, yes, I do believe that the two conventions will be completely different. After the incident of this weekend, they're gonna be riled up. It is going to be a giant rager for them. They're going to be heavily emboldened with their rhetoric. And so, when the Democrats in August, hopefully by that time, this will all calm down. This will kind of blown over, and we'll just focus on galvanizing Democrats together, and beating fascism in November.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know that there are reports that Trump is rewriting his speech to be more about uniting the nation and things like that. Are you a little bit skeptical about all that?
Yeah, I'm very skeptical about all of that. People have to understand that Donald Trump's rhetoric is the reason why we are here. The same rhetoric that he used to attack Nancy Pelosi's husband after he was attacked is the same. That same rhetoric is the reason why he was attacked. And so I don't see. This is who Trump is. This is how he galvanizes his people. Is he going to turn it down after he sees that this has emboldened his base? That some people are almost calling the race in the water, especially after this. Is he gonna tone down on this? No, I don't believe so. I think he's going to flame it up. He's going to continue with it. It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, I I was thinking, it would be wonderful if he had his, ghost of Christmas past, present, future moment, and he woke up and was suddenly feeling like he wanted to save Christmas for the orphans or whatever. But given who he's been the past 77 years, I will say that
Right.
my hopes are not high that he has undergone that transformation utterly and completely.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
So, do you have any worries about security at the convention? Obviously, this incident this weekend happened, you know, 2 days before the RNC convention was supposed to start, and they went ahead with it anyway. And they said, "Don't worry, we beefed up security and we took care of everything." And I was like, "How did you implement a whole bunch of new security measures in that short of an amount of time?" So I don't know. Are you worried about that at the Democratic convention?
So luckily, the Democratic convention is in August. So by that time, security will have a reasonable enough time to buff itself up. But
Right.
what I am afraid that you will see local retaliation on Democrats, on
Mm,
Democratic leaders, on Democratic activists, on local Democratic politicians. That's what I'm more fearful of. That you'll see, you know, uh these crazy radicals attacking your local Democrats and
right.
doing other attacks. So that is what I'm fearful of. The convention, if there was to be an attack, security is gonna be able to handle it, and they're gonna nip that in the bud. But right now, the here and now, for the next couple of months, hell, even up until the election, I'm worried about retaliation.
Yeah, I think you're right to be worried about that. I'm certainly concerned about that too. You know, I hope this was an isolated incident. I'm certainly not happy that it happened, and I would never condone anybody doing anything like that on either side, period, completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that it's happened, you know, who else has gotten some ideas about how they can do it better
Yeah.
next time? I don't
Yeah,
know.
we've opened up Pandora's box.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So when you get to the convention,
Mhm.
you mentioned the platform, everybody getting together to vote on the platform, voting on the candidates. So can you walk us through really briefly, like, what do you expect to be doing while you're there?
So I feel like it's going to be a lot of networking, meeting
Hmm.
Democrats all across the country, meeting different movers and shakers within the Democratic Party. That's what I feel like is going to be a lot of media, doing little small interviews. Um, I think it's going to be a lot of networking, a lot of
Gotcha.
networking.
Okay. That sounds fun. Hopefully, you are an extrovert, and you seem like you are. You seem like you like talking to people, so that should go pretty well for you. Now, obviously, before the events of this weekend, the big thing that everybody was freaking out about was Biden's candidacy. Is he in? Is he out? What's happening? We're all scared. We're hiding under our tables. We're refreshing Pod Save America as fast as we can. Uh, you know, what do you think about him handing off the baton to the next generation versus him staying in?
Well, this is what I'll say. When Joe Biden initially entered and won, his candidacy and his presidency was supposed to be a place of transition, that we were going to transition, he was going to be there to transition us into the next step.
Right.
Um, and clearly, uh, I don't that is not the way that he's going. So I think we have to talk about this on two different perspectives.
Okay.
I think legally there is not much that we can do with the Biden Harris ticket. I
Hmm.
was told from a close friend of mine who works higher up in Democratic Party politics that legally that it cannot be anyone other than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So with that being said, you know, do do we want to put all of our eggs in one basket into someone who has not necessarily defeated Donald Trump? Joe
Yeah,
Biden has defeated him. You
this is
know,
true.
this is true. This is something to look at.
Yeah.
Um, and I know people look at the debate. The debate was not the best,
Yeah.
but my can my message to Democrats is, I'm a former candidate. I ran for office earlier this year. We have bad debates. We have bad days. I don't think those bad days don't speak for the work that we've done or the work that we're doing.
Right.
And so that's what I try and encourage a lot of Democrats to look into. Look into the work that he's done, the work that he's done with the labor unions, um, trying to get Build Back Better. He needs to fight more on that, but that was something that, that was his thing that he tried to get passed and implemented.
Right.
The chips. So I think there are things that we have to look at from the Joe Biden um candidacy and administration, and we have to look to those things.
Yeah.
Um, so it is a hard question. But whether or not Joe Biden decides to step down, that is between him and his family.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if he's the nominee, I'm riding with Biden. Great. If it's somebody
Yeah.
else, I'm riding with fill in the blank with whoever that person's name is. That's either way, I'm good. I do kind of wish that we weren't in this situation right now. I do kind of wish that he had passed the baton, even though I do think he's been an excellent president. He's done a lot of really good stuff. But yes, I think having to, at this late stage, kind of have this scramble is not
Yeah.
ideal.
No, no. And in football, just because I'm a former football player, you
Hmm.
don't change your quarterback in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And even though, I get what people are saying, but this is why it is important for us to look at the primaries, to vote in the primaries, to get more active, so you can have more of a say. I'm one of the youngest Democrats. Well, I'm not one of the young. I'm 31, so I'm just compared to people in our party. I'm young, and
Yeah.
so and I've been doing this for a couple of years now. It took years for more young people to get involved. So that's kind of the message. Like, you want to see different, you want your politics to change, you have to become active. There is no savior coming to save you.
That is a terrific message right there. And I hope if no one else takes anything else away from this, it is that. You have to get involved if you want to see it change. So I like that we're talking to you about, how to get involved beyond just, going to the ballot box, casting your vote, and then walking away and, reading about it later. So I hope that everyone takes this as an invitation to start asking the question, how can I get more involved? I think that would be wonderful. There was a story that I read in Politica last week that I wanted to ask you about. And so it was from Jonathan Martin, or J Mart, as nerds like me call him, saying that the Biden campaign was calling individual delegates to kind of like make sure they still had the votes. So I'm curious if you had gotten a call from the Biden campaign.
No, no, they have not given me a call. But you know what? I will say this. I urge them to call me. So I can, give them my advice. I talk to a lot of young people, and I think some of the young people that they have come into the White House are not feeding them the right information. And
Yeah.
so I would ask the Biden administration to give me a call so I can give them some input and a little bit of info on how to go about the next couple of months.
Okay, great. They definitely watch this show, so you should be hearing from them shortly. So just hang out, stay by the phone. So let's talk a little bit about this idea of getting more involved in the democratic process. If somebody wants to get more involved because it's cheaper than moving to Portugal or whatever, what are some ways to do that besides just voting? There's running for office. There's getting involved with the local party. What are some of these ways that people can really start to get more involved so they can make the changes that they want to see?
So this is my message to young people. We have got to gain power. That is what we don't have. And the disenfranchised, not just young people, but working class people, that is why it's paramount that we get involved. And you get involved by kind of like what you said, Andrea. You have to get involved with the local party. But what does that mean? How do I get involved with the local party? You can call the state. your state Democratic Party, and then they'll kind of direct you. But sometimes what I find how a lot of people get involved, they find a campaign. They find a
Hmm.
local campaign that they're really passionate about.
Okay.
And getting involved in that local campaign opens up door to basically all of the politicals in your area. That's where
Gotcha.
you get to go to the different meetings. You get to meet your county chair, the different judges, and kind of build a rapport with these people and start your political career and start that pathway. So we don't have enough precinct chairs, definitely here in Texas. So call your county party, call your state party, but really call your county party and become a precinct chair. It is paramount that we become a precinct chairs because by becoming a precinct chair, you then get van access. With that van access, you can call likely voters because all this info is in van, how people vote in different primaries and stuff like that. And you also get to see the issues that are important to them. And so you can start to call and build your base with your local community, with people that live around you. Here in Texas, we get this notion that there aren't any Democrats. There's a lot of Democrats. A lot of times we don't say stuff because it's like we live behind enemy lines. And if you
Yeah.
come out there and you put that Beto sign, that Joe Biden sign, that, this Democratic candidate running for Congress or whatever, you think if you put that, like you're putting a target on, but you're
Right.
really saying, I'm a Democrat. Hey, fellow Democrats, it's okay. We're out here. Don't be afraid. And so, it is so important to just go beyond voting. There's so many local nonprofit organizations to also get involved with. If you're looking to get politically involved, but you're like, I hate both parties, well then go the nonprofit route where it's just about the work and impacting your community.
Yeah, it's interesting you say this about kind of, finding your people in Texas. So, one of the things that happens to me a lot is, when I meet someone new, they ask what I do. And I say, I have a production company and I produce a comedy news show. And they're like, oh, cool, I want to check it out. And I'm like, yeah, so if you're like say, like a big Donald Trump fan, you might not like it. And they're like, oh, no, 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 definitely not. And it's like, all right. And then I'm like, here's the address where you can go look it up, So there's this kind of like secret handshake thing that happens with Democrats in Texas, where like
Yes.
once you kind of were like, are you, and then they're like, yeah, are you? And they're just like, all right, all right, all right, And so I've always enjoyed that. I like that you've kind of given us several different ways to sort of get involved, and I'm going to add one more. And this was something that I sort of figured out during the course of COVID. If there was one good thing about COVID, and there weren't many, I had time to actually attend city council meetings online. So I
Yes.
started actually, they live stream them, and so I started attending those because I wanted to know, what the heck is going on? What are we doing? How are these decisions being made? That was also at the time of all the George Floyd stuff, so it was like, what is going on with our police department? I want to know. I want to know if they're, doing what they need to be doing, or if they're not. Spoiler alert: there was some stuff that wasn't good. But that was the first time that I ever even thought to do that was during COVID, and now I keep up with that stuff a lot more closely than I did before.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking at your local city council meeting, I've seen so many people, get started that way.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised. So many of those city council meetings go viral because it's passionate people talking about a local issue that affects them. And if anybody's listening to this, don't ever think that your voice is too small, that what you're saying doesn't matter, or what you're saying won't reach other people, because there are other pissed off people who are mad and angry and want to see something change. And by you stepping up, that will encourage and embolden somebody else to step up.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of starting a chain reaction when you do that.
E-
I like this idea because I think maybe for those of us who the past couple weeks have been watching this, Joe Biden debate fall out and just being like, oh no, and then seeing, the Trump assassination attempt and just being like, oh no, and feeling really powerless and feeling really like there is just so much stuff happening in the world and it's just happening at me, you know.
Yeah.
All of these things that we're talking about are really good ways to, do something other than make a Facebook post, which is fine. By all means, make your Facebook post. But if you can say the same thing in a Facebook post that you say at a city council meeting,
Yes.
you'll actually get a lot farther and you will actually be heard a lot more by the right people, I guess is the way to put it.
Exactly. No, that is exactly true. People, and this is sometimes, how do I say this? Because I don't want to like shoot any shots at anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But for my online progressives and my online leftists, this is my message to you guys. I understand that the system is shitty. I understand that things look bad, but it's only going to get worse if we do not get involved and if we do not take over and do something with the Democratic Party. I know so many. And after the aftermath of 2024, I know there's going to be a lot of people saying that, leave the Democratic Party. And I will say, no, do not leave the Democratic Party. Do not leave your power base. Do not leave the instrument that we need to help people out because it has failed us. I get it. It has failed us, but it has failed us with us not being at the helm of it.
Right.
So get active, become a precinct chair, run for office, start a local nonprofit, go speak at your city council meeting. These are the things that we have to do. It's no one's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves.
I love it. I love it. All right. How about we do a quick lightning round here to wrap things up?
I'm ready.
Okay. The convention, just between you and me and everybody watching, the whole thing just turns into a giant rager, right?
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you for confirming that. Okay, you are pretty interested clearly in the workings of the government. What is your news and media diet like? Do you have a J Mart tattoo? Where are you getting your sources from?
So I listen to a lot of YouTube, a lot of different
Mm-hmm.
podcasts. So
Okay.
secular talk, um, Hassan Piker. I used to be a I used to really love TYT. I still love them. They've kind of made me mad up over the past couple of years.
Right.
But yeah, basically anybody, any leftist YouTuber, I'm watching them.
Okay, great.
Except for Vosh. Not Vosh.
Okay, gotcha. Not Vash. Good to know. Which was the best Star Wars movie?
Oh. I gotta say Return of the Jedi.
Ooh, no, sorry. Empire Strikes Back. Good try. And finally, last question for you. Do you have a bumper sticker that says delegates do it in large groups once every 4 years? And if not, do you want one?
Yes, I do want one. I don't have one, but I need that. I need that.
Okay, maybe we should send you to the convention with a stack of those.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, that'd be awesome.
Okay, I'm going to work on that. We're going to send you to the convention. Would you be willing to kind of check in with us from the convention and give us some updates while you're there?
Oh, yes, that'd be awesome. Yes, I would love to. Yeah, I can do like little video segments while I'm there. Yeah.
I would love that. We would love to hear more from you. I know you have busy work ahead of you trying to save democracy, so I appreciate you coming out and talking to us. Thank you so much for making the time in your schedule, and have fun at that convention.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for having me, and thank you to your audience for listening to me ramble.